The internet's deadliest videos. Oh my goodness. The deadliest videos on the internet. Let's see how scary and spooky they are. Maury, I'm broke, buddy. I'm broke. I'm broke. I have no money. And I have no money. W Maury!
It totally innocent.
Hold on, chat. This is the internet. This is meant to be the internet's deadliest video. Anybody want to predict what he doing? I don't know. We're about to see the internet's deadliest video. Chat, does anybody want to guess what this is going to be about? Thank you for the likes. Zedos noticed the deadliest video. Mods, can you time him out for 67 seconds, please? Can we time him out for 67 seconds? I'm guessing everyone perishes. Chat, I don't think they're going to die. Hopefully not. I love people to survive.
In a small room somewhere in the Kohistan region of Pakistan, 4 women sat on the floor, each clapping their hands and singing a traditional
Chat,
Kohistani
this
song.
is already becoming weird. This is already creepy, bro. This is already creepy. It's been like 10 seconds.
One scene dancing beside them, and another scene recording the moment on a grainy video taken on his old cell
Oh,
phone.
nah, GG's.
The footage captured the impromptu after
predict
party
a shit ton
wedding
of
that the women
pauses.
and men had separately attended earlier that day, an event that transpired sometime in May 2010.
What?
Shortly after
Wait, is this the
recording
real
ended, the
Emrook?
group
Nah,
dispersed,
Lemon, it's
and
AI,
each
bro. AI, chat, this is AI Emrook.
person returned to their respective homes, where the celebration eventually became a distant memory, their lives continuing on as if it had never even happened. At least for a time.
Bro, how's he got all... Wait, they're all missing. Who did? Chat, that big guy. Chat. How many times do I say chat? Be real. Chat, do I say chat too much? I feel like I say chat a lot, chat. Is that Loki and L on me, chat? I feel like I say chat too much. Yeah, and we've already gotten fucking a warning on TikTok. Chat, we've already gotten a warning on TikTok. Like, actually. Bro. Speedrun getting banned? Maury! Oh my god, thank you. Maury, I just got the notification.
Approximately 2 years later...
Chat, we'll give the TikTok live another 10 minutes. If we get another warning, I'll end it and then I'll just start it again when we do like gaming, like Rocket League.
And safety of every individual.
Zedos, thank you for the donation, buddy. Thank you for the 100 bits, bro.
Following a disturbing admission from
Deadly
the
Zedos
Kohistani
got your
local,
stream warned.
An admission that began a
Why is bro
multi-long
giving
year
himself
search for answers
the name
to a
Deadly?
conspiracy
You're not
that
alright,
traced
bro.
back to the very moment this recording began. A moment that may have ultimately sealed the fate of 9 individuals in what has since become known as the 2012 Kohistan video incident.
Okay, chat. Has anybody heard of this? The 2012 Kohistan video incident. Has anybody heard of this? Chat, I'll be so real. I've never heard of this. But the way he's making it sound, he makes it sound like this is like a real dangerous thing. I'm kind of scared, bro. Yeah, I've seen the video. Is it bad, Mario? What are we saying? Fuck nah. Zedos, you're literally 12, bro. Stop swearing. I'll tell your mum. Chat, any minors in chat who swear, I'm telling your parents. Oh my god, that scared me, bro. He said it was in Iraq, right?
I'd be willing to bet
What's
that
up,
many
Lemon?
of you have a massive to-do list that only seems to be growing by the day.
I low-key
And
do
for
have a
while,
massive-
One thing that was
yeah.
constantly on mine was booking a doctor's appointment. Back when I
Chat,
didn't have a primary
bro, I
care
need to book a
doctor, I
doctor's
tried calling
appointment. What's up,
around to
Lemon?
different providers, but was always told the same thing. Either they weren't taking new patients, or it would take months before I was able to get in. so I
Literally,
just kind
bro.
of gave up and started
Literally.
continuously putting it off, always telling myself that I'll figure it out.
Is this an
next week.
ad?
And I'm sure.
This is an ad. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Y'all thought, Lemon, did you see Farmos's edit of me? Bro, that shit did good views, bro. Yeah, can we stop?
On June 4th, 2012, a press conference was held in the city of Abbottabad, Pakistan. The speaker,
Wait,
a
chat,
man
this is
named
in Pakistan?
Afzal Kohistani, made the long trek from his home in
Damn, chat. Talk about Giga Chad Chin. Zedos knows peak. Chat, no joke. Look at this guy's jawline, bro. I mug him, by the way. That's alright. Yo, what's the word? Chat, listen, no offense. None of y'all have a bigger jawline than this guy right here. This guy has an alpha jawline.
Kohistan, high in the mountains, to spread the word of a
This is low-key a nice little village.
horrific incident that had occurred in the previous days.
What
He
happened?
didn't just have a story to tell, but he also had a video to share.
He had a video.
Moi, c'est ça, c'est leur qui tire dans le
Oh, chat. This is already making me uncomfortable.
With him was that grainy cell phone recording taken 2 years earlier, showing the group of 4 women and 2 men dancing after a local wedding ceremony. And while the footage itself was far from alarming, it was the context that Afzal gave it that would eventually
Far Cry
capture the
3 Our
world's
Village,
attention.
the quality of
As
chat.
according to the man,
Bro, this was 2012. Like, bro, would you expect him to have an iPhone 17? Maury, thank you so much, by the way. Yeah, I know, I see, Maury. I saw Steam. Thank you so much, bro. We can play it on Thursday, Maury. Yeah, Maury, on Thursday, if you'd be down, if you have time, after work. Just type it in stream, bro. But nah, chat, W Maury. Resident Evil Bazo hired? Chat, what's Bazo hired? But if he was sharing it on the news, he's not to blame. My eyes... What do you mean, bro? What do you mean your eyes had... What do you mean your eyes had better quality? What the... Chat, your eyes are like... Your eyes are 20k, right? Your eye is like 20k quality. Yeah, chat, I don't think he actually committed the crime. Or did he actually commit the crime?
each of the women shown within this video
Oh,
had
fuck.
suffered a terrible
Friday?
fate. And
Thursday,
it was all
Friday,
due
or
to
Saturday,
the
I'd be down.
existence of the footage
Because I'll have more
itself.
energy.
For years, the video had been lost on one of the men's phones, buried in a sea of other media, and destined to be seen only by his eyes. But fate had different plans, as for unknown reasons, in May of 2012, that footage leaked online.
But how did it leak online if it wasn't him who posted it? That's what I'm saying, dog.
There
Literally.
it went unnoticed by most of the world, as in all honesty, the video itself just isn't that interesting. But in Kohistan, where it was filmed, it went completely viral. It was shared from villager to villager until practically the entire region had seen it, with it becoming a point of discussion for most.
But why is it Ghost of the Goon? Can we please be normal for once? Chat, why did it get shared so much? Chat, the video is just 4 women singing. The video is just 4 women singing. Like, why is it so crazy?
As for locals of that area, this video was far from normal. In fact, for many, it actually depicted evidence of a crime.
Of a crime? How? They were just singing.
Kohistan is a region bound by its traditions. For centuries, they've
No,
tried
Jeff,
to preserve
not
their
Kurdistan.
culture and way of life. So much so that any breaches of said traditions are taken so seriously that they're viewed as legal matters. And in this footage, the women could be seen breaking several of them. For starters, women in Kohistan are not allowed to congregate with men from outside of their families.
What? Chat, so, wait, what? If you're a woman, you can't be around, like, congregate means, like, be around and interact with, right? So they can't eat... I smell fire. Chat, hopefully my house ain't on fire. Why does that fire smell so close? It's okay. Chat, does that mean they literally can't be around other men? Chat, imagine you have a female... Chat, if you have a homegirl, imagine your homegirl gets, like, attacked and killed for being around you. Like, what the fuck?
So is blatantly illegal. And
It's
in this
illegal.
Video, the women and men have no relation. On top of that, they're also from different villages, which is another infraction. But perhaps the biggest crime committed in this case
Chat, I don't
was
like
that
the
the women
homegirl.
were clapping and singing in the presence of these men, despite the area having strict rules against dancing
You
with members of the
can't
opposite
dance in
sex.
front of other men.
As a result, when this footage was passed around, it was actually viewed as evidence of crimes committed against Kohistani tradition, and it was taken very seriously. Now,
Yeah,
despite
female
being part
doctor.
of Pakistan and falling under its laws, Kohistan is unique in the sense that geographically it's next to impossible to effectively govern. It's nestled in the intersection of 3 major mountain ranges, making accessing it very difficult.
Chat,
And if-
not to be that guy, but any area of the world can be governed by a government. The real question is, how many fucking missiles do you have to send before that entire area surrenders to your fucking rules and regulations? Chat, it's not about, oh, will they accept me? No. How many fucking bombs can that country drop on that other country before that other country is like, you know what, dude? My bad. I'll follow your rules. Like, any country, any area can be governed, bro. It's just how much violence are you willing to inflict?
Forcing the country's laws.
You get
next
what
to
I'm saying?
impossible, as the area practically lives in its own isolation. Instead, the region is composed of largely self-governing villages who
Teach
have
I'm
their own
lucky
sets
smart,
of
bro.
rules that they play by. And when a crime is alleged, they'll hold something called a jirga, which is
A
essentially a tribal
Jurga. Yeah. Why is that so funny to say, Jurga?
council comprised of village elders
Chat,
who determine if the party
yeah,
or party
they play a massive game of Jenga. Nah, it's disrespectful though. When is Mia Khalifa react? We're not reacting to Mia Khalifa, bro. Sorry to say. Where have you been? Nahir, I've been out in the mountains, Lux Maxing, bro. I've been mugging. I just saw a video about Jewish conspiracies. GG's. You look skinny. Thank you. I've lost weight, so
these are guilty
it's a good thing to hear.
and what their punishment should be.
I'm also
and
super
oftentimes
tanned
these
right
punishments
now.
will
Look
be
at that
most
fucking
harsh
tan,
when the crimes committed
compared
go
to
against their
fucking here,
tradition.
bro.
And this video
Yo.
allegedly did just that. And so, soon after its release, a jirga was held,
And Rookie,
discussions
Loki,
about
thank
what
you.
should be done to these women began. The story that Afzal was sharing so far was one that wouldn't have been shocking to many, as this had just become protocol
When is the
for
Bonnie Blue
villages
collab?
like
Not happening,
Kohistan.
bro.
But what was shocking was the punishment that these women allegedly received.
Oh, chat. Before they tell us what punishment they received, what punishment, chat, do you think these women received? What punishment do you think they received? I reckon they maybe got stoned to death. That's my assumption. Beheaded, that's also a valid answer. They probably got killed, right? Like, they got murdered. When are we rating our favorite Lily Phillips videos? Chat, hot take, Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, I would low-key smash both. I don't care what anyone says. If Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips were like, yo, can we crack? I'd be like, yes. Had to listen to Move On. Yo, Maury, ban yourself, bro. Actually, fuck off. Yep, we've been banned on TikTok.
According to Afzal, once the footage was made public, all 4 of the women shown within
Chat, listen, I'm gonna end the TikTok live until we do like Rocket League or other gaming because I keep getting warnings, bro. I can't risk I can't risk getting banned again, bro. That shit's so fucking annoying. Fucking ending that bitch.
in the video.
Homegirls, underrated love interest. No, chat. If I have a homegirl, chat, I only have 2 homegirls right now. Both of them, if they message me right now saying, hey, Michael, so me and my boyfriend are going through a lot of trouble right now. I'd really appreciate it if you came around and just helped me out a bit. I'd be like, yeah, I can come around and help you. Feel better. Like, bring you some chocolate, type shit, W friend. The second she touches me inappropriately, I'm fucking slapping that bitch. Chat, the second she's like, leans in for a kiss, tries to touch my meat, hell nah, we're finished, bro. This is a friendship and friendship only. No joke, if both my homegirls asked me to fuck, I'd say no.
Along with one other girl who wasn't pictured but
Wallahi,
had allegedly
on
helped
my
coordinate
life.
this gathering, had been rounded up and thrown inside a small room about the size of a
No,
closet
Nahir, no.
that served as a makeshift prison.
Chat, if you haven't...
And inside,
listen, we're supposed to be watching a serious video, bro. This reaction's cooked. Chat, if you have a homegirl, the whole point is that she's just a friend. She's just a friend, chat. You shouldn't be... Like, unless you both agree, hey, we both just want to be friends, but fuck, that's different. Like, you get what I'm saying, chat? Sorry, Jeff. My bad.
each day was misery. Every morning, the door would be opened and each woman would be doused with boiling water, causing their skin to bubble and blister.
Oh my
At
god.
night, the door would open again, and this time, the women would be covered in burning hot embers and coal from the day's fire. They were tortured
What did I miss?
in unimaginable ways. Until finally, on
See you
May
later,
30th, 2012, when at 2 in the morning, the Jirga gave the final verdict that all of the women should be executed. The door opened one final time that morning at 2 a.m., and one by one, the women were woken up, restrained, and their throats were cut.
Fucking hell, rest in peace, chat. That's a horrible thing, bro.
This was an appalling claim by Afzal. If true, what they did to these women was not only outrageously extreme considering the crime,
Oh, chat. He's calling them out on it. He's exposing them. No, Jeff, this is Pakistan. Chat. I don't want to insult any country or people, but I have genuinely heard from people who are from Pakistan, chat, that in Pakistan, if you're a woman, And in certain regions, if you just look at another man, they'll fucking stone you to death. They will murder you, bro. If you speak out in Pakistan, if you speak out against Islam, they'll fucking murder you, bro. Like, it's serious shit, chat. Pakistan's serious, bro. I'm scared of it. I don't think I'd ever go to Pakistan. I don't think I could, chat. I'm too scared.
But also very illegal, as Jurgis didn't have the right to sentence someone to death. And because of this, those watching the press conference were left horrified.
Yeah, facts, Nahir. And also facts, Chef, you're right. That's not Islam.
Honor killings aren't necessarily a new thing in Pakistan.
See, chat, look at this, bro. Bro, honor killings. Around 1,000 women are killed in the name of honor. Yo, chat. Yo, let's get a fast. Let's kill them for honor, bro. What the actual fuck? What the actual fuck, bro? They kill more than 2 women a day just because of yeah.
Especially in remote villages. But this level of sadism was unimaginable, and all for a blatantly harmless gathering. And yet Afzal claimed that not only had no one in Kohistan opposed the Jurgis' shocking decision, but even the family members of these women supported it. And they supported it so much so that they were the ones who carried out the torture and the eventual killings.
Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. This is like... Okay, like, this is actually crazy, bro. So they weren't only tortured for days, they were tortured by their own family. Are we serious, bro? Their own family would wake them up at 2 in the morning, pour boiling water on their skin, fucking wake them up at 3 a.m. the next day, pour hot charcoal on their skin, burning, like, yeah, yo, Zeros, we'd be banned on TikTok by
Their
now,
fathers,
like, genuinely.
uncles, brothers, all partook in scalding them with water, burning them with embers, and cutting their throats.
Oh my
and no one tried to stop it, except for Afzal. He had caught wind of the girls' torture while it was happening, and actively—
Nah, big respect to chat, I don't want to mispronounce his name, Afzal, big
tried to
fucking respect,
intervene by
bro.
alerting Kohistani journalists. Though when this failed
Yeah,
and they went through with the
fucking
executions,
deport him.
he
Send
left the
him back to
region
his fucking country. Fucking disgusting, bro. Get out, bro. Nah, that pisses me off, bro. Like, that's fucking disgusting, bro. Get his daughter some proper parents, bro. Get him out the fucking country. I don't want a man like that in my own country, in this country, bro. Like, chat, if I live in a country and I find out some man's trying to fucking honor kill his daughter in front of a school, get him fucking gone, bro. I don't give a fuck how racist that may sound out of context, but it's fucking true, chat. I don't give a fuck. You're telling me some guy wants to honor kill his daughter in front of a school where, I don't know, let's say, if he did that shit in front of my little sister's school, I'd kill him, bro. I'd kill him. Like, I'm not having my little sister be scarred for life just because you fucking believe some weird shit. Like, I just don't get it, bro. If you... Oh, this is going to sound so fucking far right, chat. This is going to sound proper, like... Proper English, innit? But... If you go to another country, if you move to another country and you want to live there, you need to follow and respect that country's laws and traditions. That doesn't mean you can't celebrate your own traditions. Chat, when I came to this country, we were like regular British citizens, bro. We would do all the same shit, we'd behave the same, and then at home, when it's Christmas, when it's Easter, in our own house, in the house we lived in, we would celebrate it how we do in our normal country. We would never force it upon anyone, we would never do anything else. We were doing it privately by ourselves. And then on the outside, when we were out shopping, we were out doing stuff as a family, we would behave and act like regular people, like the other people in the country. Because that's if respecting is how it should be, bro. You're supposed to assimilate. If you go to another country, you're not supposed to impose your fucking like if I go to Japan, I'm not gonna force myself. I'm not gonna go to a store and if in the store it says please take your shoes off and wear one of these slippers, I'm not gonna fucking forcefully go inside with shoes on. No, that's fucking rude, bro. I'll take my shoes off, put on the slippers. If in my own house in Japan I want to wear shoes inside, that's different. That's my own house. But I just can't, bro. That shit's pissed me off. Someone tried to honor kill in front of his screen. I just can't, bro. That's pissed me
alert
off.
the government of Pakistan and the rest of the world to the atrocity that had happened in Khoistan. But for Afzal, this wasn't just about avenging the deaths of these girls. As he had
genuinely,
another
Jeff.
very important reason for speaking out. As shown in this footage, were Afzal's two brothers, whose involvement, he claimed, had also led to them receiving death sentences.
Oh, shit.
With both brothers going into hiding
Thank you for the follow too. Chat, they also died? Or nah?
in order to avoid being killed. This press conference was essentially Afzal's
So chat, he didn't even expose it. He didn't even expose it because he was wanting to do the right thing. He did it because his brothers were involved. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, it's good he still tried to expose it, but it's not for the right reason, probably.
way of trying to save his brothers, as he knew that they could be found and killed at any moment, spurring Afzal to act,
Sentence
even
were
at
hid
the
away.
risk of his own safety. As locals had caught wind of his previous attempts to speak with journalists, and in response, that same Jirga that had sentenced these women to death had sent an angry mob of 40 to 50 men to Afzal's home
They killed
in
him.
order to silence him.
They killed him,
likely
yeah.
not wanting news of their illegal
X2,
sentencing
hell
to
no.
leave the region. And after giving this speech, Afzal knew that that group was only going to become more angry. Based on Afzal's testimony, the existence of this video had caused the torture and deaths of 5 women, dead at the hands of a radical
Bro.
Jirga and the victim's own family, who were now coming after Afzal and his 2 brothers. As if this footage had just been kept on that man's phone, no one would have even known that this meeting had ever took place, and therefore none of this would be happening. It's an almost fantastical story, which begs the question,
Please tell me there's a happy
was
ending.
any of it actually true?
4 women in Pakistan's Khoistan who were allegedly singing and dancing with men at a wedding party were killed after a tribal Jirga committee of elders ordered their execution.
Afzal's story immediately made the front page
What?
news in Pakistan, but it wasn't without its controversy. At the end of the day, a story is all it was. He had no semblance of proof to back up his claims. In fact, Afzal himself never actually witnessed the crimes that he spoke of.
Yo, X2,
he had
chill out,
simply
bro.
been told about them by others who had, leaving the public perception to his story mixed. Within
I
hours
still
of his
think it
press
happened though,
conference,
chat.
Malana
Hold on. I still think they killed the guy. Just because there was no proper proof, apparently, or whatever the fuck they're saying, like, it still
the
probably
leader
happened.
of the Jirga that Afzal was trying to expose, came forward to publicly disavow the allegations, saying that Afzal had made up this entire story in an attempt to get political asylum to the United States for both him and his brothers, and that the women in this video were completely fine,
Oh
living
my
their lives
God.
as normal in Khoistan.
They legit tried to fucking frame him. Nah,
Both
they're all
sides
dead,
made their
yeah.
claims, but both sides offered no evidence, turning the story into a confusing
They
case of
legit
he said,
tried to
they
do what
said.
the USA does, chat. They tried to do what the USA does, fucking lie about the person.
Luckily,
Nah.
though, the government of Pakistan had the perfect idea to get to the bottom of it, and so they reached out to Malana Javeed and told him that if the girls were alive like he claimed, then he must bring them to the courtroom in Abbottabad as proof.
That's
It was
actually a
great
W.
idea.
Yeah, that's smart, bro. If some guy's claiming, nah, those girls weren't killed, okay, bro. Bring them to us. Bring us the girls. If they're all alive, like you claim, if they didn't die, bring them to us. That's
In theory,
that's
but
common
ultimately,
sense.
the Jirga hit back on this, claiming that it would be dishonorable for these women to appear in court, as women in Khoistan aren't even meant to leave their homes
Oh
under
my
most
God.
circumstances, let alone travel that
Yo, bro, did you eat my ice cream? No. What's that on your face? I don't know. Is it ice cream? No, it's not ice cream. Stop accusing me.
far and be shown in a public forum.
आपने उनमें से उनको फिर क्यों कल सुप्रीम कोर्ट में नहीं पेश कर रहे हैं?
वो तो हमारे क्योंकि रिवायात ये तारीख में कभी इस तरह के कोई वाक़या नहीं हुआ है कि कोहिस्तानी रिवायात में लड़कियों को
Chat, I'll be honest. A lot of the Pakistani guys I know, their views of women are very like, chat, even the Pakistani guys who I know who are like from the more western parts of Pakistan, the more like normal sides, you could say. Even still, it's like you can tell they treat women differently. like, if you're born as a woman in Pakistan, GG's, bro.
अदालत में कचहरियों में
Like,
पेश कर रहा है।
GG's.
ये तो
Nahir,
वो
chat,
मजबूरी
Nahir,
है।
she's from
ये
Pakistan.
बताइए,
GG's, bro.
खवातीन जिंदा है या मर गई?
वो तो हमारे इल्म में जिंदा है।
Khoistan is one
Yeah,
of the most
Zedos,
socially
genuinely.
conservative
Like
areas
Zedos,
on the planet.
imagine your mother, like, this is how sad it is. Imagine your mother would literally get beaten because she accidentally walked by a man and said, oh, sorry. Or like bumped into a guy and went, oh, I'm sorry. Like, and she gets beaten for that. Bro, I'd kill the whole village. If you're beating my mother because I'd burn the whole village, bro. I'd fucking Itachi Uchiha them bitches. I forgot his name for a second. Chat, I'm trying to rage bait Nahir, but I don't think she's even here, chat.
It is a deeply patriarchal society.
I know
with
Nahir's
women having
Turkish.
severe restrictions
I know
on
she's
all
Turkish.
aspects of their lives, especially when it comes to social engagement, making this the perfect out for the Jirga. And so the government came up with a different solution. If the women couldn't travel to the courtroom, then they would travel to them. And so they quickly got together a group of investigators and sent them up into the mountains to meet the girls there themselves.
I'd ghetto the
and
entire
hopefully confirm
village.
that they were in fact still alive.
Another W idea.
On June 6th,
I don't trust helicopters. Chat, be honest. After the amount of people that have died in helicopters, would you get in a helicopter? I can't lie, I don't think I'd get in a helicopter.
A helicopter carrying this newly formed investigative team landed in the
Goodbye,
village
buddy.
of Gadar, where the women resided. Though they quickly realized that something was wrong, the village was practically deserted, and when they asked one of the few remaining locals where everyone was, they were told that most villagers had left the area due to the seasonal weather, including the women they were looking for, who lived spread out and even higher into the mountains. And to find just 2 of them would require a grueling 4-hour hike. It was certainly suspicious to some degree, but nevertheless, the team proceeded on that long walk until they happened upon the first woman, Amina. The woman
So she was alive. Wait, hold on, there's a plot twist. Wait, they found one of the women.
before them appeared to have the same facial features. and
Okay,
was
sorry, same facial features.
even wearing the same exact outfit that Amina wore in the video.
Same exact outfit. That's a little bit sus.
On top of this, the other locals they spoke with would go on to confirm that she was the Amina they were looking for. Though proving this for certain was impossible, as the only information the investigators had to go off
it's a
of
little bit
was her
sus.
name and screenshots from this recording, and so all they could do was document their findings and go on to meet the next girl, Shaheen. Shaheen's story is different from the others, as she was never actually shown in the footage. Rather, she was Amina's sister, whom Afso claimed helped facilitate the illegal gathering that fateful night,
Bro,
and was therefore
he's calling it an illegal gathering. Bro, do you know what they were doing? Chat, do you know what they were doing? It was 4 girls, 2 guys, sat in a circle, singing and dancing to music. And this is illegal in this part of the world. Are we fucking serious? Yo. Chat, if I was Monkey D. Luffy, I'd go into that fucking village and sort them all out, bro. All these fucking Jirga, aka Celestial. I don't give a fuck, bro. Fuck that village. It's wrong, bro. It's wrong, chat. That's wrong. I don't care, bro. If I was Monkey D. Luffy, I'd fucking punch the Jirgas in the face. You know, fuck that group of Jirgas, bro. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna get political, bro. This group of Jirgas, if they did kill these women, fuck them, bro.
killed alongside the others for her.
If I die, I just want y'all to know I was never suicidal, chat. I was perfectly fine. If I die, R.I.P. Hold it down.
involvement. But the most disturbing part being the
Hold it
fact that she
down.
was just 12 years old.
She
But
was
that
tw-
was Afzal's story. And here, standing before the investigators, was a girl who appeared to be the same age, claiming to be Shaheen, as did her parents and all the other villagers they spoke with. Though given that her face never even appeared in the video, it was also
I think the
impossible
whole
to
village is
verify
in on it,
this.
chat.
After meeting Shaheen, the group was informed that the remaining women lived even further away, and reaching them before sundown wouldn't be possible, forcing the team to return to Abbottabad, having only met 2 of the girls. But so far, their findings were extremely promising. Less than 2 weeks later, on June 16th,
That's true,
the
fam.
team would
That's
once
true,
again
Zenos.
visit Kohistan, this time armed
That's
with
true.
cameras to document their findings. There, they would meet 2 more of the women, Serene John and Begum John. Much like the first 2 women, Serene John seemed to be a match, with her family and neighbors attesting to her
Chat,
identity.
I'll be honest, the nose is the same. Chat, that nose almost bigger than my meat, bro. I'll be real. That's a massive nose.
Though it was noted that she was incredibly nervous and refused to speak unless her parents allowed her to, which was true also for Begum John, whose meeting was actually captured on camera.
I don't know, chat. This is so suspicious, bro. I don't like it. This is so suspicious, gang.
It was evident how nervous she was.
Yeah,
she
she's
could hardly even force
terrified.
a smile and didn't speak a single word. But despite this, everyone reassured the investigators that this was Begum John, and given how isolated the lives of
did the girl
Kohistani
have a
women
mole?
are,
Yeah.
perhaps her nerves were understandable. This left only the 5th alleged victim, Baziga, though she was nowhere to be seen that day, as she had supposedly fallen ill and was unable to come down from her home, which was even more remote than the team had gone thus far. But for the investigators,
How
they had
remote
already
are
all
these
but confirmed
villages?
that 4 of the women who Afzal claimed to have been murdered
How are they
were still
eating
very
food
much
if it's so
alive,
like? How do they get
with there being
food?
no evidence whatsoever that any executions had taken place, leaving the team with no real reason to believe any of his story. And so days after their second trip to Kohistan, the news would break.
Human rights activist Farzana Bari, who was accompanying the team sent to bring the Kohistani girls to the Supreme Court, says there is evidence that all the girls are alive.
The Kohistan video case was closed. It was a swift end to such an alarming story.
It says
After
it's closed, but there's still 20 minutes of the video
just
left.
a few weeks,
so I don't
in the
know.
eyes of the public and the government, the stories told about this video were deemed to be lies. and
Why has
Afzal
Jeff just lost her
was the
VIP?
liar. But not everyone was so quick to agree with this conclusion.
Why is her badge? Wait, why has your badge disappeared for one message?
There were obvious flaws in this fact-finding
Yeah, her
mission,
badge
the
disappeared
most
for one
glaring
message.
of which being that all the investigators had to go off of were blurry screenshots and some names. In fact, Dr. Farzana Bari, one of the investigators sent to Kohistan who actually met with these women, would later go on to publicly state that she was unsatisfied with their findings, as though the women they met
Why
looked
didn't
similar
you
to those
say
in the
that? Like, randomly chat. Listen, bro. If she felt like this wasn't enough proof, why did she not say that in that time, bro? You know, it's too late.
video. They weren't able to conclusively prove that they were who they claimed to be, just given the resources available to them. But if these weren't the women in question, then who were they?
Yeah, who
why were
are
they
they?
pretending to be them? And why was the entire village
Yeah,
lying
she
about
low-key
it?
did Keej. The Jurgis got her.
Well, this
Chat,
led the
the
conspiracy
Jurgis.
theory that the women the investigators met with were merely actors, coerced into
That's genuinely what I think happened, chat. I think it's just actors.
pretending to be these women as part of a cover-up to disprove Afzal's story. A cover-up that had to be so massive that the entire village was in on it. It seems unlikely, but there was a vocal minority in Pakistan that truly believed this, including Afzal himself, as in his mind he was certain that those women had been killed, and that he and his brothers were next. And so with a small group of supporters by his side, Afzal vowed to continue his push for justice, and at the start of 2013 he would go to the courtroom in Abbottabad and file a motion to have the Kohistan video case reopened, a decision that had sudden and direct consequences.
Oh no. Sudden and direct consequences. The original girl didn't have a mole. Did she not? I don't know. Massive,
Days
you
after
say.
Afzal's
Hold on,
court filing,
Cage.
he
Massive.
received a devastating phone call
His brothers are dead.
that his brothers had been gunned down and murdered in cold blood.
Well. Well. So, he accused some people of killing women. They were like, nah, I didn't do it. Here, we have this proof. People believe this proof. He then is like, no, guys, they're lying to you. Don't believe them. Let's reopen the case. Bang, bang, they kill his brothers. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay. I mean, sorry, bang, bang, his brothers are dead somehow. I don't know. Ay, 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 ay. Hold on now. I don't know about this.
But not the ones you might expect.
What?
Afzal was one of 6 siblings,
Bruh, I thought they meant the brother. Bro, what the fuck? Okay, so, yo, Nick, come on,
and at
man.
this point, 2 of his brothers were still in hiding, living their lives in a secret location. But the other 3, Sherwali, Shah Faisal, and Rafuddin, were living their lives as usual, believing that they were safe as they had no involvement in this fight whatsoever. Though they were sadly
I'm so
mistaken.
filthy right now, chat. I want some water so
And
bad.
on January
Chat,
4th,
I've run out of my
2013,
drink.
while walking to their local mosque in Kohistan, all 3 were ambushed by a group of gunmen and met with a barrage of gunfire. Seconds later, all 3 were dead. The murders
At least
were
the death
shocking,
was fast.
and made even more so when the culprits were revealed as members of the slain woman's family, as well as the jirga that had called for their execution.
Okay, so the people who killed his brothers were literally relatives of the girls who got killed, and one of the people was literally the Jirga chief. Bro, yo, Yo, are we for real? I honestly, Keej, I'm not sure. I've never heard of that. Maybe it is. Is it?
And their motive was simple. This was revenge against Afzal for sharing his story, and for filing that application just days prior. And as if the group's message wasn't clear enough, they would then surround Afzal's home and fire over 1,000 bullets into the structure.
1,000.
Luckily, Afzal had already moved to a secret
How
location
have they
out of
got
fear
one-
of this very moment.
1,000
But the incident
bullets?
left him forever shaken and forever devastated. As in trying to save 2 of his brothers, his fight had now cost him 3. But there was at least one minuscule silver lining, with that being that the Jirga and the woman's family had now proven themselves to be murderous. But this didn't necessarily prove that they were actually the ones who
Bro, if they killed his brothers for dumb shit, they've definitely killed these girls.
women.
I
That was
fully
still
believe
just a
these girls
theory,
were killed.
and a far-out theory at that. I mean, in the eyes of the Pakistan government, these women couldn't have been killed, as their investigators had literally met face-to-face with 4 of them. This was the main challenge that Reuters journalist Catherine Harold ran into after picking up the case. She had been reporting on Pakistani honor killings around the time of Afzal's press conference, and found his story to be believable based on her research into treatment of women in that region. But for his story to be true, then she knew that meant that the women presented to the investigative team couldn't have been who they claimed to be. And so she took an image
What
of
if they
Begum
were men? Chat, what if they were men dressed as women?
John, the woman who looked particularly nervous during the investigation, and Begum's official government ID photo, and sent them both off to digital barriers.
Okay, I take it back. They do not look alike. I take it back, chat. They don't look alike. Her nose looks bigger. The way her lips are shaped different to this person's lips. Eyes are smaller, eyes are big. I don't
Company
know.
specializing in facial recognition technology, and asked them to compare the images and determine if these 2 women were actually the same
The most of
person.
it different, yeah.
The comparison came back at just 17%, or in other words,
It was
they weren't a match.
Genuinely, no, like, haha joke, chat. That's genuinely an imposter. No, like, don't make Among Us jokes. That's genuinely an imposter, chat. What the
This
fuck?
means that by all likelihood, this woman, the woman shown to the government as proof that Begum John was alive, and who the entire village identified as Begum John, was in fact an imposter.
Bro just stole
It's
my
a
fucking
revelation
joke.
that shifted the
Jesus
entire
Christ.
case. Suddenly, this once far-off
just stole
conspiracy
my
theory
joke.
was proven to be at least partially
No
true.
credit.
And if someone had been impersonating Begum John,
But if that's a woman, wouldn't they, chat? If this is a woman, wouldn't they also kill her because now she's in contact with other men? Like, this imposter, if this is actually a woman and not a man, they're gonna have to now kill her as well because she's had contact with outside men. Like, yo.
theory was proven to be at least partially true. And if someone had been impersonating Begum John, then
Yo.
it was more than possible that the same had been done with all the other women. And just like that, the Kohistan video conspiracy was in full effect. The government of Pakistan, however, wasn't convinced by the findings. In their minds, they had already investigated these claims, and they had little interest in reopening the case. But Afzal persisted, and he continued doing anything he could to get this case a wider audience, and force the government to reinvestigate. He did interviews on TV, filed motions in court, and even ran for office in Kohistan. But no matter how hard he tried, hardly any progress was made.
Damn, I feel bad
until
for him,
eventually
Jack.
years began to pass. The agony of waiting was hell for Afzal. Despite some of the women's family members being thrown in prison for the murder of his brothers, many were still walking free, and as were all the members of that original Jirga, meaning that every day represented
that
new
Jirga,
risks
bro.
to Afzal's life, new risks to his brothers' lives, and new risks to the lives of the women in Kohistan.
He looks like Han Solo.
Since the
I
alleged
see it.
executions of those 5 women, Afzal and his supporters had discovered evidence of over 50 other honor killings that had taken place in that small
Yeah, I
village
can't,
over the
bro. I just can't, bro. How is this a real thing, bro? How is this a real thing? Honor killings, bro. Are we serious, bro? They're just killing, like... Let me make sure I understand what an honor killing is, Chad, just so I'm not stupid. Wait. Honor killings are done by the family members to a girl. Typically to a girl. I thought it was just random guys killing random, like, people. You're telling me it's like brothers and sisters, brothers and fathers killing their own sisters and mothers? That makes it even worse, bro. I thought they were just killing random people. Majority women, yes, but I didn't know it was their own family members. What the fuck, gang? That's fucking cooked.
Course of just 2 years. A shockingly high number of people in place. Afzal and his supporters had discovered evidence of over 50 other honor killings.
Yeah, it was the same village, I know.
In that small village over the course of just
it's 2 years. Fucking cooked, bro. What a horrible place. Can we bomb it? Yeah, well,
how few people
chat, if they bomb it, they'll kill the innocent people as well. Like, they need some, like, SEAL Team 6 or some shit.
In that village. With these honor killings being described as common as the common cold, every household was being affected by them, but no one dared speak about it. They were all too afraid. The Jirga held all the power.
Fuck the
Jirga, speaking out
bro.
against them would be breaching the tradition that they hold so dearly. And as a result, despite all the other killings, Afzal was still really the only one from the region that had been—
Jeff, every soldier is a murderer. Every soldier takes the life of another son, another father, another brother, another sister. No soldier is a good man, bro. For he has killed the son of a mother, the son of a father. Damn, I look, you got philosophical there, Loki. That's actually kind of tough. Nah, jokes aside, chat. Oh, nah, bro. I've just fucking pressed the button. Oh, nah, bro. Chat, where was we up to?
Taliban, Pakistan.
Where was we up to? Fuck.
Every household was resulting in his story as well as the treatment of women in Kohistan at the hands of this bloodthirsty Jirga.
Chat, you can hear the pain in his voice, bro.
It was an extremely compelling video,
this is
showing
sad.
us just how much Afzal's life had been derailed by the whole situation, as he was forced to live alone in hiding, separate from his family, including his children, wife, and 2 surviving brothers.
Don't tell me they killed his family.
Were also living in hiding, in conditions that they described as being miserable. The story was about as harrowing as it gets, and as soon as the video released, hundreds of thousands of people would watch it, thrusting the Kohistan video case into a worldwide spotlight. And with so many eyes now on the case, and with so many people now calling for the Pakistan government to reinvestigate, they would finally relent.
Finally, bro, after what years, bro?
November of 2016, the government called on that Jirga once more to bring these women to Abbottabad and show them in their courtroom so they could personally verify that they were still alive. And this time, they outright demanded it. Failure to comply would essentially be seen as an admission to these murders.
Failure to comply would be seen as you admitting you're guilty. That's how it should be, chat. If you make a claim and then the court says, all right, you can easily back this claim. But if you don't, we're going to assume you're fully guilty. Boom, that's how it should be, bro.
There was no getting around it this time, and so that month, a group of 5 women and their families were all brought down from Kohistan, and one by one led into the courtroom, with the hope of bringing this case to an end, once and for all.
Okay, this is kind of dodgy though. It's been an hour. No, it's not, bro.
To protect the women's honor, no photos or videos were allowed in the courtroom, meaning all we know about what happened inside comes from officials' descriptions afterwards. The first thing noted was the conduct of these women. The girls produced were observed to be extremely nervous and frightened. They were hardly able to respond to queries. They had incompatible reflexes and face expressions. In response to most of the queries, it was commonly observed that they were supplied with words from elders, especially about their ages and husbands. The girls were terrified, too terrified to speak for themselves, and instead, all their answers were fed to them by accompanying elders. But the strangeness of their mannerisms pales in comparison to the strangeness of their appearances, with the most bizarre being Amina. By appearance, she was about 15 years old. Reportedly, the video was shot back in the year 2010, and it surfaced on the internet in 2012. If we subtract 6 years from Amina's age, her age at the time of the video shooting would be between 8 years or 9 years, whereas the women visible in the video looked to be aged between 20 years or 22
they look like grown women.
Back in the year 2010. The girl that they brought to court claiming to be Amina was just a child, and based on her appearance, she would have been as young as 8 years old in the video. Which clearly isn't the case. I mean,
clearly not, we could see she's like at least a teenager.
And the same was true for Serene John. By appearance, she was not more than 16 years or 17 years of age, meaning she would have been aged 9 years or 10 years in 2010. Along with this, neither she
Yeah, but
nor
Keej,
her
not
father
this
was able
much,
to
not
tell
that
her
much.
birthday or her age. These girls were clearly not the women from the video. They were just acting. And while these seemed to be feeble attempts, there were other aspects that made it obvious just how desperate this Jirga was to try and pass these girls off as real, with the most upsetting coming from the girl who claimed to be Amina. Now, Amina actually had her fingerprints on file with the Pakistani government already, and so naturally they went to collect this girl's fingerprints in order to compare
Don't tell me they somehow got her fingerprint to be the same. No
them.
way.
But when they attempted to do so, they came back blank, which is when the officials noticed that the tips of her fingers had been burnt off. And it wasn't just her thumbs. Every single finger had the tips of them scorched off.
Oh my god. Yo, these jokers are fucking stupid, bro. Yo, chat, tell me that don't make them look so much more guilty, bro. Bro, come on, bro. At least, bro, that's so guilty, bro. Come on. Yo, the only girl who had her fingerprints already on file. Oh no, her fingerprints burnt off. Chat, when I was a kid, I wanted to do
Just
this
her
to
thumbs.
myself so the FBI could never trace me. Chat, when I was a kid, I wanted to burn off my fingerprints so the FBI or CIA could never, like, get me, bro. Like, chat, I would put my fingers on the radiator. Until it got super hot. They'd be like, oh, it's going to burn them off, I promise. Keej, you'd have to put it on, like, burning hot metal. Like, I'm talking like a red hot knife.
Every single finger had the tips of them scorched off. On the spot, all 5 girls brought into that courtroom were determined to be imposters, victims themselves who were forced into pretending that they were the women seen in this footage. And considering the Jirga's desperation and the lengths they went through to now twice try and pass off different women as those from the video, it was clear that something awful had happened to the actual women.
They definitely killed them.
Something that they didn't want to ever get out. And with that, almost universally, the world fell into agreement that Afzal had been telling
Finally,
the truth all
after
along.
three
But any
3
celebration
years.
from Afzal would have been short-lived.
No.
Months later, a fire erupted in a small home in Gadar, the village where all of the women once resided. And inside that home, 2 women and 3 children were trapped.
His kids. They were his family. They burned his family alive.
And would tragically burn to death. It was an awful tragedy, but according to the local Jirga, it wasn't an accident. As in its aftermath, they alleged that Afzal was the one responsible, claiming that he had started the fire in retaliation. This claim was complete hearsay, and there was no evidence whatsoever linking Afzal to the blaze. In fact, he wasn't living anywhere near the area at the time, but nevertheless, Afzal would be arrested for the murders of 5 people. It's a gut-wrenching development, and follows the trend of horrible misfortunes that Afzal suffered in trying to blow the whistle on his crime.
I give up.
But as his sentence commenced, the Kohistan video case continued making its way through the legal system, until July of 2018, when the news came in. It was officially determined that Serene Jan, Begum Jan, and Baziga had all in fact been tortured and murdered by their families.
2019, by the way. Like, pretty much 6 years.
On order from the Jirga, with the confirmation coming as a result of confessions made from their own family members. And the entire time, the village had been working together to conceal the truth, and what was described
Arrest everybody in that village.
as a massive, coordinated conspiracy to cover up their crimes. Now bizarrely, this revelation stated that the other 2 girls were actually still alive, as they weren't mentioned in any of the confessions. However, given what unfolded in court, this is universally doubted to this day, as most are in agreement that every woman shown in this video was in fact murdered 2 years after its recording, just as Afzal had claimed. It's unlike any story I can remember hearing. One video, one wholesome, lighthearted
that's genuinely what it was, bro. A wholesome video. They were just fucking singing to music, bro.
video for that matter, is responsible for 8 murders.
Singing and
as not only
dancing
were these
like
5
regular
women killed
humans.
because of it, but Afzal's 3 brothers were killed as a
And then 3 more people
result
killed.
of him sharing it with the world, making it perhaps the deadliest video I've ever come across. But as suggested earlier, this footage isn't considered responsible for the deaths of 8 people. It's considered responsible for the deaths of 9.
Who else died? Who else?
The confessions in 2018 didn't lead to any immediate convictions, but it was at least proof in the eyes of the public that these murders took place. And this was followed by Afzal finally being released from prison in early 2019,
Yes, Afzal.
a full year and a half after he was unjustly arrested. But
Spent a year and a half falsely arrested.
despite being
GGs.
free, Afzal was hardly out of the woods. The case wasn't officially over yet, and he knew that the family and the members of the Jirga were still out there. In fact, around the same time, the family members who were initially convicted of killing Afzal's brothers were mysteriously released for reasons that weren't specified. And
Well, what's the fucking point then? Yeah, dude. Let's rewind and just listen to what they just said. Yeah, let's rewind.
They're still out there. In fact, around the same time, the family members who were initially convicted of killing Afzal's brothers were mysteriously released for reasons that weren't specified.
So the people who literally killed his brothers somehow, so basically, Afzal, the guy who exposed this whole thing, the people who killed his brothers and were arrested magically got let out for no, and literally he says for no reason, and we don't know why. Are we fucking
They were
serious?
likely now more angry than ever.
Are we fucking
And so
serious?
after being released from prison, Afzal went to a local police station to request police protection, something that the court had already granted him. But in response, the officers said no. And when he tried pressing the matter, Afzal claims that the officers became so enraged that they dragged him inside a small room and beat him.
Yeah, I feel bad
Between
for this dude.
Afzal being
Actually,
arrested
bro.
and now this,
Yeah,
it almost
Afzal
felt
is
as though the
definitely
government
dying.
and the police were now against him, which could be due to the fact that Afzal had been very public with how inadequate and downright abusive the police had been towards him.
मुझे पुलिस वालों पे कोई इत्मीनान नहीं है अभी तक पुलिस वालों ने जितना मेरे साथ जो रवैया किया है ऐसे रवैया जानवरों के साथ नहीं किया जा रहा हमारे जानों की जान इतने खतरे में है
And with nowhere left to turn, Afzal would post a video to his social media declaring that his life was in danger.
मेरा नाम अफजल कोहिस्तानी है और मैं 2012 से यही पुलिस की जिद में मैं जलील हो रहा हूँ एक जवान था
I honestly think the police are gonna kill him.
उसने ऐसी हालत मेरी की
Maury, you were right. Yes, okay, we get it. Right.
सबसे
I'm
उठ के
stupid,
मुझे
okay.
मारा है उसने जिसके साथ करे मेरे खिलाफ करे या किसी और के खिलाफ करे मैं इस नाइंसाफी के खिलाफ चाहे मेरे खिलाफ कुछ भी करे.
Days later, on March 6th, 2019, Afzal arrived in Abbottabad to testify in the Kohistan trial, though he never made it into the courtroom.
Never made it.
As he sat in the back of an unmarked truck waiting to enter, suddenly, the vehicle was struck by multiple bullets. Paramedics would open the door minutes later, only to find Afzal laying in a pool of blood. He would never make it to the hospital.
In Pakistan, the man who led a campaign to expose one of the country's most notorious so-called honor killings has been shot dead in the city of Abbottabad.
Afzal's death was devastating to so many, not only throughout Pakistan, but throughout the entire world. His relentless pursuit of justice, and his willingness to sacrifice his own life in order to expose these crimes, was something that was championed by so many throughout the world.
Respect,
and he had
John,
come
mad
so
respect.
close to seeing justice served,
Rest in peace,
as only
honestly.
a few months later, 3 men were arrested and sentenced to life in prison for the Kohistan murders, each being members of the girls' families. Along with one other, a man named Masoom Khan, a member of the Jirga who was sentenced to life in prison
Fuck
for the
the
murder
Jirga,
of
bro.
Afzal.
I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck the Jirga, bro.
But even with this, people were angry. They were angry with the government for not taking Afzal's word more seriously.
Please tell me there were riots.
They were angry
please.
with the police who failed to protect Afzal and seemed to be actively working against him. And they were also angry at a rather unexpected source. The Vice documentary made back in 2016 was undoubtedly part of what put this case back on the map and back in the court system, but right from its release it garnered criticism for something that the showrunners had seemingly overlooked, with one commenter pointing it out. Wait, hold on a minute. Isn't it dangerous to expose his whereabouts like this?
This is why I don't fucking like Vice, bro.
In the footage used,
But
the crew
legit-
seemingly showed the outside of the hideout where Afzal had been living, as well as where his family had been hiding, and in response to Afzal's death, many were quick to blame the documentary. You people had literally shot his location and his family's location. Damn, you killed him. By disclosing his hideout, Afzal Kohestani was killed by his enemies. This is really shameful and against the ethics of journalism. Why would you show Afzal and his family's hiding
Why the
place?
fuck?
And
How?
while it may seem a little extreme to blame a
God.
documentary made 3 years
No,
before
it doesn't
his murder,
matter. It doesn't actually matter. If you're a journalist and you go like, bro, look at Tommy G, chat. Tommy G. If Tommy G is like a fucking secret location, chat, meeting a drug dealer or a member of the fucking Mexican cartel, guess what? Everything around him is blurred. Only him and the other person are unblurred. Because guess what? If you fucking show some shit, you could get that person killed. Like, that's fucked
it's given
up,
a bit
bro.
more weight by the fact that Vice had actually re-uploaded the documentary
Oh
to
my god. Fucking into that shit.
their Vice Asia channel at the end of 2018, where it went completely viral, gaining more viewership than even the original upload. Months later, Afzal would be killed, and to this day, many still believe that Vice played an unintentional role in
Yeah,
it.
no, I agree. I would agree to say they played an unintentional role. I
But
agree.
again, this is just public speculation, and at the end of the day, it was really on the police and the government of Pakistan to
Yes,
protect him.
that's also
and they
true, but
failed.
still.
It's a heartbreaking end to
Rest
a
in
heartbreaking
peace, chat.
story.
Rest
it follows
in
this
peace.
trend of misfortune that Afzal dealt with throughout his life. And unfortunately, that trend continued even after his death.
No.
Devastatingly, the 3 men arrested for the murders of these women would be unexpectedly released from prison in 2023, only 4 short years after their initial arrest. A far cry from life in prison, like they were originally sentenced to. And the reason for their release was just as upsetting, as the government cited a lack of evidence. These 3 men literally confessed to the killings, and they even discussed how they disposed of the bodies afterwards. And yet there suddenly wasn't enough evidence to keep them in prison, despite them already being convicted, meaning that after all of the death in this video, the murders of Afzal's brothers, the murders of these 5 women, and the murder of Afzal himself, only 1 man is currently in prison.
Yo, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm genuinely serious when I say this. This world is fucking lucky that I don't have, like, Superman's powers, bro. Like, I'd decimate them, bro. I'd fucking fly over there right now and genuinely rip them apart, bro. Like, chat, I'm not even joking, bro. They were in prison for 4 years. They confessed to killing these girls, to killing his brothers. And then they just get let out. This world should be fucking lucky there's no one with, like, the powers of, like, a superhero or fucking Homelander or anything, bro. Because I'm not joking, chat. If that was me, I'd fucking I'd fly through their stomachs, bro. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm being deadly serious, bro. I'd flatten that whole fucking village, bro. Oh my, that's pissed. That's left me in a bad mood. Like, I can't even joke. I'm gonna be so real. Hey, it's clear you like this video. There's one right here as well. Why don't you watch this one too? Come on, watch it. Press it, bro.
Yo, they still ain't pressed the
Well, that's
video.
what I'm saying. They ain't pressing it, bro.